Good morning, children. I would like to welcome each and everyone to the EV.S class and hope you have all enjoyed the Festival of Light. And children, we are going to learn about lights in our new chapter, that is lesson number 10, and the name of the lesson is Games of Lights. So let us start with the meaning, what you are going to learn, or what will be the learning outcome of today's topic. So today you are going to learn, students will be able to define shadow. After giving my explanation, you will be able to define what is shadow or how shadow is formed. So let us start. So here we have the light and shadow. You can see the picture of a boy and the shadow is being reflected. Here children, this is the picture of a boy and the shadow. So it's at light and shadow. Let us see to the next. But before that you should know what is light. Light helps us to see things around us, isn't it children? During the daytime we can see everything around us. And the sun is the main source of light on the earth. I repeat, the sun is the main source of light on the earth. We also get light from torch, candle, stars and lamp. I'm saying during the daytime when the bright sun is there, you see the things around us. We see the things around us. At night also there are artificial lights that gives like torch, bulbs, candle, then lamps, okay, that help us to see things around us. But one thing you should remember, that the sun is the main source of light on the earth. Now let me follow the textbook now children. You can see in page number 6 of your textbook, look at the picture. The boy in the picture is Ali. He likes to make various shape on the walls in front of the light. Have you ever tried children? You can try this one. He's making the shadow of a bird, isn't it? You can see and you can try also. I remember when we stand out in the sun, we can see a dark shape on the ground. It looks similar to us. It moves as we move. Do you know what it is? It's shadow. During the daytime, children, you can do today. You just stand outside on the ground and you can see that a similar shape will be seen on the ground. And what is that? That is the shadow. As you move, the shadow will also move. Now, a shadow is a dark shape formed when an object blocks the part of the light. Now, let us see the few pictures. See children, what it is said that when a shadow is formed when an object blocks the path of the light. When light cannot pass through it, then the shadow will be formed. These are all shadows will be formed when light cannot pass through it. Now let's move to the next. Formation of shadow. A shadow is formed when an object blocks the path of light. In the previous slide you have seen the picture of the boy and the birds. You have seen the shadow. So what it says, a shadow is formed when an object blocks the path of the light. When light cannot pass through it, then a shadow is formed. Next, giving here one example, you can see children, this is the sun, this is a tree and the shadow is formed. See children, when light falls on the tree and the tree is being blocked and the shadow is formed. When the light cannot pass through the tree, then the shadow is formed. And it is said that when an object blocks the path of light, then shadow is formed. Okay children, you can see the example, the sun rays, then the tree is being blocked and the shadow is formed. Moving to the next slide. Now, they also say that objects that allow light to pass through them. You'll find some object, they will allow light to pass from them and you will not find shadow. There will be no formation of shadow. Some object allows light to pass through them. They do not block the light. What children? They do not block the light, so they do not form shadow. You should remember, object that allows light to pass through them, they will not form shadow because they do not block the light. They are not blocking the light. So they do not form shadow. We can see through this object, for example, glass and water. Isn't it, children? We can see. You can see, and so the formation of shadow is not there. Okay? And always remember, when there something is blocked, then the shadow is formed. When light cannot pass through, then the shadow is formed. Now let's see the coming to next. Object that allows only some light to pass through them. There are some object that allows very less light to pass through them. So see, some object only some light to pass through them. Some objects allow only some light to pass through them. They can form shadow, but the shadow are not very dark. So what is it? Object that allows only some light to pass through them, you will find the shadow not dark. It will be little light compared to the shadow form when there is blocked. Okay. Object allows only some light to pass through them. They can form shadows, but the shadows are not very dark. We cannot see through this object properly. You will not be able to see through this object properly. Earlier what we have learned, some object allows light to pass through them. You can see. Okay, you can see. And there is no formation of shadow. But now what we have learned is that some object, they form shadow, but that is not very dark. Okay, now let us move to the next. That is object that do not allow light to pass through them. Do you remember, children? The object that do not allow light to pass through them, they will form shadow. They will form shadow. Some objects do not allow light to pass through them at all. Okay, this object can form dark shadow, and what it will form, children? They will form dark shadow. We cannot see through this object at all. You cannot see through this object at all. Previous two part we have learned that some object allow light to pass through them and you can see. In second we have learned some object allows only some light to pass through them. That is, you can see little bit but not clearly or properly. Now for example, your body does not allow light to pass through it. So there is a formation of shadow. It forms a shadow when light falls on it. So here is an example. You can see when the shadow is formed when the light cannot pass through it, our body. Then we cannot see through our bodies. Other examples are walls of the house, then are a blackboard and so on. These are the examples of objects that do not allow light to pass through them and they form shadow. Okay children, these are the important things we have learned today. I would like to repeat it again. We have learned the meaning of shadow or how formation of shadow. Then we have learned three things. Object that allows light to pass through them. Then object that allows only some light to pass through them, and objects that do not allow light to pass through them. Okay children, and here I would like to wind up my class, but before winding the class I would like to say your homework will be uploaded in the Google Classroom, and in your live class we are going to do the main activity of this chapter. Okay, till now, thank you and have a nice day ahead.